Thanks for choosing Not Us United. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And if you're tuning in on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a review. We'd love to hear more about what you have to say. On this episode, Michael and Nick are premiering their Season 3 debut. On this episode, they will be discussing the new hit film, The Gray Man, from Netflix, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. You're going to hear a tangent-riddled episode that talks about their love for Chris Evans, how Ryan Gosling kinda nailed the role, and although there might be lots wrong with this movie, they ended up loving it in a lot of ways. Thanks again for choosing us, and enjoy this episode.
Is dead in the Upside Down.
Who? Barbara Bryan?
Oh, Barbara. I was singing the Minions song from Banana. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I do know the I Swear, but it's underwear when they sing it.
I was like, and I swear.
Yeah, but they're like, underwear.
Underwear.
And they're whatever
Wait, that
language.
makes no sense.
Well, they're minions. And
Banana makes sense because they are bananas.
Yeah, but banana doesn't mean banana to them.
What
Or
does it
maybe
mean
it
to
does.
them?
Maybe that's
What's
the only.
Lore of Despicable Me?
Maybe that is the only word that is one for one.
Yeah, I think so.
But the rest of them isn't. It's
I
like
think so.
Pig Latin or something.
It's Min Latin.
Pin Latin.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we just came back from watching Minions: Rise of Gru.
No, we did not. We were the two gentlemen who never went and saw that movie.
I know, that's surprising that for us to not do that.
Mhm.
I feel.
What was the whole meaning behind that? Like,
I think it's just like it's a bunch of like people dressing up nicely to go to this movie that's like silly, but they
Got
grew
it.
up like
So,
they grew up
yeah.
on the Minions and they grew up on Despicable Me
so
and they're
now
like in
all
high school now.
little gentlemen.
Little
so they're-
gentlemen,
they're
little
ready
minion,
to
little
party.
gentle minions.
Fair enough. It's their Avengers Endgame.
In a sense, yeah.
I love it.
So I just like wearing suits. So anyway, we should just go to a showing of whatever in
Sure.
suits.
You know what I want to do? We've done this before where we did back-to-back movies in one
Yeah.
night.
We watched two completely different movies, I think.
What did we go see?
watched Resident Evil and
Yes.
House of Gucci.
House of Gucci. Wait, those were both. Yeah, that was the same night. You're right. We were like, we're going to talk about one and we're not talking about the other.
And somehow House of Gucci was the one we talked about.
Yeah. I want to do that again.
Yeah,
I want
that
to.
was fun.
Because now that you can buy everything online, you don't have to be like shady and like sneak into theaters. You
Yeah.
can be like, hey, I bought my ticket. If
Yeah.
somebody wants to come at me,
Mhm.
I reserved C5.
Yeah.
Get off me.
Get off me.
Here's the one thing I will say though, before we get into our topic today. This whole reserved seating thing feels like it's a good step forward for movie theaters. It's really not.
I hate it.
I like the ability to like save my seat before I technically get there, but I would say 25% of the time someone's already sitting in my seat, and it's just awkward.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there is a whole theater of seats, but I kind of like picked that seat.
Specifically.
And yeah, so this like one time it was our Maverick showing that I went and saw
Oh.
with Kate. This like whole family like clearly bought 2 tickets, and then the rest of them showed up, and they're like, well, they probably just grabbed seats wherever.
Sure.
And they were like, well, hey, we're down here, come sit with us. And sure enough, I was like, I know we're gonna run into something. And then there's like this whole family, and it's like, do we ask them to move because all the good seats are gone, so now I have to go sit in one of the front rows?
Mm-hmm. What did
So-
you do?
Well, this is where the story gets bad.
Oh,
is
no.
I go up and I'm like, hey, we're in like F5 and F6, and they like look at their tickets. They're like, oh, sorry. Well, the guy sitting in my seat, I couldn't tell by the theater, but it was very dark, but clearly had a cast on his leg and had
Nick.
crutches. Oh. And so he started to grab his crutches, and Kate's like, nope, totally fine. We're going into, but I didn't see it. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, they're switching. She's like,
Yeah.
we're not going to do this. I was like, oh, okay. And then we went and sat like 2 rows in front, and like we kind of had to like look up the whole time, but it was like, hey, this is good.
Yeah.
The whole family got to sit together.
Yeah.
God bless. But it was just like one of those like, this is just awkward. Like,
Yeah.
just give us our tickets again. I don't know.
I like it in one sense of you can buy, if you're like going to a midnight premiere, and you got like 4 people, you buy all 4
Sure.
of the seats, and you're right next to the done. That's great. But if we show up on a Tuesday afternoon at like 4 or whatever for a
Yeah.
showing, it's like I don't want to like have a specific seat. I just want to buy a ticket and go in.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be like one of 10 people in the theater.
Yeah, and so then it's awkward because you're like, they're probably not sitting in my seat, but now I'm going to sit in a random seat that I accidentally sit in somebody
Yeah.
else's, and it's just going to be this chain
It's a cascade,
reaction.
yeah.
It's like, this is rough. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. Movie theater companies, just check it out.
But you know why? I don't even think we need to talk about movie theaters anymore because we talked about this week. We'll be talking about a movie that was not even in theaters. You know what I'm saying?
It was for a week before
Oh,
it got
was-
on
dang it.
Netflix. Sorry, couldn't let you have
Oh,
it.
my transition. Oh, I tried so hard.
Yeah, it was released 1 week just because it was Russo Brothers and,
Okay.
and the big boys, so it was like Netflix kind of theatrical
Do
thing.
you think that's sometimes they do that for like awards and stuff?
I don't think this is for awards. I think this is just, hey, we could probably squeeze a little extra cash.
A little extra cha-ching, if you will.
Because there's a lot of billboard people on this. I mean, it's literally the writing team and directing team of Avengers Endgame, Winter Soldier, all
Yeah.
of the Russo Brothers Marvel movies. And so they definitely like sold it as such.
Yeah.
Starring 2 people that were also in Marvel things. One in a very crappy Marvel thing. What's her name? I don't remember what her name is, but she was in Iron Fist. That's how bad the show
Oh,
was.
yeah.
So I forget who it was. But she's in the movie. And then Chris Evans as Captain America.
Who's
playing
he? Oh, Captain America. That's
Captain
right.
America,
Oh, I
yes.
forgot about that.
Yes. But instead of being America's ass,
Oh.
in this movie he decides to be
America's
America's
mustache.
asshole.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Kind of a jerk in this one.
Yeah, he is. But he's really good.
He is.
But anyways, before we go into that, we just want to thank you all for listening to us ramble for the past 5 minutes.
Oh, sure.
And welcome you to this podcast.
That's right.
This is, I just want to say this is season 3.
Yes, we're officially
starting
kicking
out.
it off.
Yeah. It's just, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
We're 51 episodes, Nick.
Yeah. This was but a twinkle in our eye
Yeah.
just a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Now
Look
we're
at us.
here.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? And I will say this is the most relaxed Not Us United episode.
Yeah.
We are in comfy chairs right now.
Yes.
Um,
Did some rearranging.
yeah, I think I dare say this is the comfiest chair I've sat in while recording a podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high praise. You've actually recorded quite a few.
Yeah, I've recorded a few podcasts.
At least 51.
At least 51. So have you.
That is correct. Yes. No, I'm excited. I think in the next couple episodes we'll probably do like what we're looking forward to over the next few months,
Yeah.
just to give you some teases for what season 3 will hold. But I think we found our voices.
Yeah.
I think we've reached a point where, after many bottles of wine, after many chats about what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
we've just decided,
This
it's
is it.
let's just give the people what they want.
Yeah.
And they've been clamoring and clamoring and clamoring.
Every
So-
time I walk out on the street, I'm met with someone who has our shirt on.
That is correct.
Yeah. I
Um,
walk out on the street once a month.
My family has been incredibly supportive with the shirts. So every time I've gone home or we've done some sort of family gathering, there is a purple Not Us United shirt in the
God
crowd.
bless.
It's pretty nice.
I will say my fiance's family has been incredibly supportive. Not my family,
Yeah.
because I don't see I don't see him out here.
Hey, but Christine, she was supportive. And
Christine
literally
and-
being on the
Yeah.
episode.
Christine and Greg have bought shirts. The only
Oh,
members of
God
my
bless.
family that have gotten shirts.
God
so
bless.
just I don't know, not to out them, but
Yeah,
hey,
we have a few more if you want them.
yeah. Well, medium. If anyone's a medium out there,
Couple mediums and
Yeah.
one extra large.
yeah, just throw that out there. Yeah, we have merch officially. Come out. But yeah, I first time I'm seeing a Not Us United shirt in a while. I was like, that's it. We've done
Yeah.
it. But not like wild and like if I saw it like walking down the street, and I'm like at
Yeah.
dinner or something, that'd be insane. A person
would be crazy.
the moment that a person I don't know is wearing our shirt
Yeah.
will be wild.
Yeah. Because the biggest question I would say is, how the hell did you even get it?
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, whoa. I literally handed every shirt to whoever got them. How did you get that? But cool.
Yeah.
But
at
yes.
some point when
At
we
some
have
point, yes.
when we have millions of fans.
But here's what I will say. We were very hype going in saying like, hey, 50 episodes, 2 seasons. That seems like a lot. And then we're like, wow, and then maybe we'll have shirts. And then it happened, and it kind of just felt natural.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel like, oh no, this was like
Insurmountable.
we shouldn't have done this, or everything just felt kind of like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And like the people that listen to us and support us were very like, of course I'm gonna buy a shirt, of course. And so it was fun.
Yeah, it was really great. So thank you everyone for your support through all this. It's just it may seem like a fun, silly little thing we do, but we enjoy it, and
That's correct.
We hope you guys enjoy it as well.
Indeed. But now we need to talk about
the stupidest movie of all time. I'm just kidding.
It is titled very simple.
Yeah, blandly, if you will.
I will say the title was not what like struck me, and I think they knew that. They knew they had to sell this in a lot of other ways, but we'll be talking about the new Netflix movie, The Gray Man.
The Gray Man, the Grayest Man.
Grayest Man. And it stars Ryan Gosling,
the Goose,
who we've talked about before on this podcast.
Yes, sir.
He loves his romantic movies. He loves his serious movies.
Stoic.
And in this case, it's action and serious, with no real romance.
No.
Which just allows him to be a very stone cold boy.
Yeah.
Which he's very good at. I think he is very good at being a silent.
Well,
just,
I mean,
like you said, stoic person.
You look at Drive, you look at Blade Runner, you look at all his other stuff. A lot of his other stuff that he's not like a rom-com.
Yeah.
He's
I'm glad you said Drive. That's a movie that I really enjoy that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. It's okay if you don't enjoy it.
I don't like that one.
I just liked the vibe of Drive.
Yeah, Drive is a very vibe movie that I'm just like I didn't get, but I will say Drive. There's a lot of carryovers in this movie.
Yeah.
From Drive for me.
Correct. Yeah.
And we can get into that. But I will say about this movie, I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I don't think it breaks any barriers or anything like that. I think it is a fun time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think Ryan Gosling is good, but I think his character is someone we've seen before. But yeah, the other cast, Chris Evans, is, I think, steals the show. Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of closer to what he normally used to do before Captain America, but it's definitely like refreshing to see him. In some ways, like I told my dad, I was like, it almost felt like Captain America was him acting, but there's something about him playing kind of the bad boy that feels just way more natural, and it didn't feel weird for him to just step into this role.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, for somebody who's played such a heroic, selfless person for so long, and, like, you can't separate him from that character, I still remember, like, Scott Pilgrim. I still remember
The Losers,
Johnny
right?
Storm. Yeah, The Losers. I still remember just where he's kind of the dummy jock. And this is, like, the psycho jock.
Yeah.
You know, basically, is what he plays in this. And so, but not, like, not to say that it's like treaded ground, but like it was nice to see him back kind of in this.
It is amazing in that, like, you see him as Captain America for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. And now with Knives Out and this movie, it's like, oh, you've been this heroic character, like you said. And it's like, it's so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a credit. There's a credit to him being like, oh, wait. You are this character is a jerk, you know. It's like, and we see that, and like we don't carry over like Captain America into that.
Right. Yeah, the thing I'll say about this movie is I felt like I think Netflix pumps out a bunch of like 6s. Right? Like I think they just are like, here's a movie, and they'll pump those out with like not a lot of people tagged, like well-known people tagged to them, and they're like, okay, that entertained me for an hour and a half. Thank you, Netflix. I think they're really good at that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're amazing at like getting movies that are just a little bit better than that, or Oscar nominated. Like they only make like 2 types of movies.
Yeah. A movie you throw on in the background, or it's a yeah, that's a good point.
And this movie, at least for me, and I think it was just slightly elevated by some of the performances, I mean, they spared no expense on who they got in this movie compared to other ones.
Sure.
And I do think it elevated it just above the typical, like, Netflix whatever. But there's still, like, other ones, like, I watched earlier this month, or maybe it was last month, was Spiderhead with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. Those were two big names coming off of huge things. And there's, like, more plot to, like, that movie. And it's a little more psychological. It's a little more freaky. It's a little more just, like, not quite what those two guys would make in a movie. And Gray Man feels like it's exactly what these two guys would do if you could think of them being
more
in
like
movies.
by the numbers.
Yeah. And so I think it's somewhere in there where it's like, I think it's solid. I think it's above what they normally do. But I think when they've, like, swung and actually, like, hit it with a little bit of a different take, more of a risky movie, I enjoy those movies more. I think this was incredibly safe. It kind of towed the line of, like, your John Wicks.
Sure.
But it also was kind of like Bourne. So I think it, like, kind of hit a lot of the kind of like the bigger, more popular versions of these movies. And I thought it was intriguing. And they've already announced a sequel and a prequel to Gray. Like, it's wild. Like, it's only been out for 2 weeks, I think, and they're already doing stuff. So Netflix just hides the numbers, so I have no idea if it's actually popular or not. But they apparently think so. So
I'm not. Yeah, they need a new Stranger Things, I guess, or whatever.
Sure.
Some kind of momentum.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this could have been more, but I do think it is above their factory pumping out just their basic movies.
I think that's a great point. I think Netflix, for me, is always better known for their shows, not their movies.
Sure.
I think they do excellent shows.
Yeah.
I think they do average movies. I think this was a little bit better than that.
Sure.
I think in comparison to a movie that came out a few years ago, Extraction, that they did,
Sure.
I thought that was, like, pretty well done for a Netflix. Like,
was that the Russo Brothers too?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
But it was Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really well done movie, similar to this kind of vein of, like, spy action thriller secret agent stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that was, like, better than this.
Mm-hmm.
But this felt like a good, like, I don't know, if you like a single, like just a good solid hit.
Yeah, you're not going to waste your time watching this movie.
No.
But I really do value rewatchability.
Mm-hmm.
I rank that a little bit higher. I know there are some great films out there that I won't watch again.
Like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, sure. This one, I don't feel like, when that sequel comes out, I better go back and revisit The Gray Man.
Sure.
Like, I don't know if it, like, laid enough groundwork that I'm, like, not catching all the details.
No, but I think it's trying.
Yeah.
Like, it is trying to be dry.
The effort was there that I'm like, it should be talked about. Let's do
Yeah.
an episode on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I like Drive more than this, because I think it has a little bit more of a he's not in his head, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, baby.
But I think this felt like it was just trying to be that, but it was also trying to be Bond, but it was also trying to be, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like Knives Out, like Chris
Impossible a little
Evans
bit
from
too.
Knives Out. Yeah, it felt like the pitch was, what if we took Drive and Chris Evans from Knives Out and put him in a Jason Bourne movie?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And now that's a great time. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's amazing. I think there's I think there's some cool shots. I think there's a few moments where the budget was noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this budget is high, but I think there was some corners cut, and I think the first half is pretty good. And I think it falls apart near the second half of, like, wait.
Yep.
But that being said, I would watch a show. I would watch another movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to go back and be like, remember at hour 32 mark or hour 100, 1 hour and 32 minutes when he did this, and that means it links up to this person. It's like, no, I mean, no.
I think the lane that it's in is still tied closely to some other films that I'd probably recommend first. Like, I think if you want to watch a guy that wants to protect something that's close to him, I'd go watch John Wick over this, for sure.
For sure.
If you want to kind of dig into, like, the CIA and why it always seems to have a rogue agent doing, like, every movie with the CIA is like somebody's bad in the CIA. It's like, didn't see that one coming. Then just go watch like Bourne, you
Yeah.
know. But I think there's some things that are really good about it, and so when we get into the spoilers here, we can talk about the good
Yeah.
about it. So
Why don't you give a ranking?
yeah, I think I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay, I'm right there with you.
So yeah, I think like 6s is what they're usually good at pumping out, and I do think certain performances. I actually do like Ryan Gosling in this,
I agree.
and I do enjoy Chris Evans as well. I think he is memorable, and rumors might be that the prequel would be setting up his character.
Sweet.
So makes sense.
Is the movie a prequel or the show a prequel?
Oh, I thought it was 2 movies.
I don't know.
I think it's just 2.
I thought you
A
said a
sequel
show as
movie
well.
and a prequel movie.
Got it. Okay.
So
I love Chris Evans.
yeah,
He was the best part about this movie, hands down.
damn, nice.
Yeah.
I know his shoes were. I mean, those dudes, his outfits were insane.
Yeah. So every time he was on screen, loved it. I
Mhm.
loved everything that he was doing. The rest, no. Actually, I think Billy Bob Thornton.
Tough look from my guy.
I don't think this was his best outing.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah,
Not
that he really had a lot to work with.
No. But it is funny seeing Ana de Armas with Ryan Gosling again after they were together in Blade Runner. All I could think about was them.
Well, and then you have Knives Out with Chris.
Oh yeah,
Chris Evans,
yeah,
so
that's right.
she was in Bond earlier, so like
That's right.
she's made around.
She's doing everything.
She's very like. You're gonna want to watch out for her because she's literally in everything now.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna make a Marilyn Monroe movie.
Oh, that's
where
right.
she's playing Marilyn Monroe, and she's just gonna be in everything.
Yeah, I thought she was good in here. I
Mhm.
thought her character was interesting, but where they took her, I don't know. We'll get into spoilers about like, I guess thought processes.
Yeah.
But like,
But you give it a 6.5 as well.
I do. Yeah.
Whew, look at that.
Yeah.
Looks like Not Us is united.
Not Us is united.
Let's go, baby.
Anyways, turn that 6 to a 0 because this movie sucks. Kidding.
No, there was still something about this that we felt needed to be talked about because I do think there's some interesting things being tried. Like there are some very memorable. So we're in spoilers now.
Yes.
I thought the first 15 minutes of this film were incredibly
Excellent.
compelling.
Yes.
Like storytelling wise, I was like, all right, the hook is
You got
like
me.
you got it. Like you got me. The whole idea of taking criminals on death row, basically, it kind of Suicide Squad esque.
What are we? Some kind of gray man?
Yeah, are we Gray Man? Which I felt like I heard Sierra 6 more than I heard Gray Man.
Yes.
So I thought that was interesting.
Want to call it Sierra 6, maybe?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Anyway, that was odd. But the idea that we flash forward to him just like obviously doing a great
and
job.
the fireworks. And
But yeah,
Hong
that
Kong,
fighting scene where he finally is taking out a guy and he's like, "Oh, I'm Sierra 4," and he's like, "Well, I don't know if I should trust you, so I'm gonna kill you anyway. But hey, take this information." I love like the whole just beginning was awesome.
Great.
Where you're
I
like,
agree.
whoa, he might have just kind of caused like Ragnarok for his organization in a way. Like, why is he taking out his own people, even though he didn't know that there were other ones technically? I think, or like
No, that they was taking out their own people. He didn't know that. He knew
I
there
think,
were other people.
I think all their identities were secret. So
Yeah.
like when he saw him, it wasn't like he knew
It's
that
like,
was.
there he is, number 4.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good setup as well, where like it was a little bit like, oh, the CIA is bad, blah blah. We know that. Just brush all that over.
That's every movie.
I think this movie goes into 30 minutes too long at the end, where it's like we're jumping from here and here and here, and then we have a backstory with like going back in time, which I enjoyed, but it's just like, I don't know. I felt like this movie jumped around a little bit too much.
Yeah. Location wise, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it was everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm just like, where are we again?
Yeah.
And then I don't know where characters are for a moment, and then they show up, and I'm like, wait, you were actually like only 2 hours away, so this does make sense.
Yeah, and there's some
But-
flashbacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The reason I was a big fan of Ryan Gosling's performance is, yeah, it might have been similar to like if you've seen Blade Runner 2049, kind of the same character.
Yeah.
If you've seen Drive, kind of the same character. But I felt like the action in this was quite good.
Yes.
When he was involved, like a lot more of the intimate like fighting scenes. Like there's one in particular where he's protecting Billy Bob Thornton's niece, and it's like in a house with a flashlight and everything's like silent fighting. Pretty cool shot.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of neat how like
and there's a good like
the
20
light is
second
fighting, you know?
beat where he's like just
Yeah.
choreographed very well. Those like long shots like that, very well done.
Yeah. And the firework things were cool. I mean, there is some of it where it is just like there's just so much going on that you're kind of like, is this even action? I don't know. But like I said, the first 15 minutes set the aesthetic. I mean, is that the one that you were saying like that's where the budget was with all the fireworks and fighting and all that stuff?
And that was just done very well.
Yeah.
But then there are these like long kind of choreographed moments that are really good, and there's like some moments where it's like just very cut,
Sure.
like very snippety.
The airplane one, I think. Was
Yeah,
a
the
lot.
airplane one. But I did like the airplane in that, like, I like the smoke when he was hitting people around. And
Yeah,
there's like,
cool
I think there's
aesthetics.
a visual.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so there's moments like that in the movie where it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like that train scene.
Oh.
I think near the end, it really doesn't look good.
Sure.
Too many cuts, and then like
And he's just like slowly running off of it. Yeah.
And it looks, I'm like, oh, that could have used a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I liked the movie up until really like the end, where I'm just like, okay, it just felt like it kind of felt like a slog. And I enjoy where they went and all that, but and I enjoyed the world that they built. Like when Chris Evans is like, oh, we're getting all the wet teams and they're coming out of nowhere. It did feel very John Wick 2.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're on the run and what are you gonna do? And I like that. I thought that was interesting.
There's a lot of really good ingredients that I think they are fine in continuing the Gray Man series, because similar to like you said with John Wick, I mean, I think there's things to explore for sure. I would be interested in like the prequel with Chris Evans actually interests me a lot, because he was going to be the next Sierra 6 or Sierra whatever number, and then got his psych profile back and basically was like, you're kind of too good at killing, like in a weird way, like kind of in a way we don't want you to be. And so then he's like, sweet, I'm just gonna go make a lot of money killing people. So that intrigues me. But yeah, there's just other things where even the movie's like obvious about it. Like Ryan Gosling at one point is handcuffed to a bench and like 100 people are shooting him with guns. And Chris Evans is just like, can anyone not hit him with a gun? Like there's just like obvious things happening where you're kind of like, that kind of like took me out a little bit of the movie, where I was like, that feels weird. Like,
I thought it was funny. I mean,
it is funny, but like, he wasn't doing anything spectacular. He was just sitting behind a bench, and everyone was like, well, let's kill the cops instead. And so they start like firing at them. It's like, this is just a weird.
Yeah.
I
agree. I thought there was enough of like, I liked that scene because it felt like there was enough like entanglement around him.
Sure.
That was distracting enough. And I understand like, he's just on a bench, just shoot him. I think that was them like writing a way of like, we need him to survive and have this cool moment. So there's other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I just didn't enjoy when we have like, I don't know. I just feel like 30 minutes you could cut out of this movie, make it really crisp.
Yeah.
But I guess you got to kind of sell this universe now.
But the other thing that I did like was I do think that they did hammer home that he has this thing to like really protect. And they tied it in with him, like, the reason he was even in jail was that he basically, like, killed his abusive father that was going to probably either kill him or kill his, like, brother. And so he felt like it was his time and was sentenced to jail for that. And that bleeds into him protecting the niece to, like, the nth degree to, like, do this and this and this. And so, like, that all bled together fine. And even the awkward kind of, like, even the ending where they get to the point where he could just have Chris Evans shot, he's like, nah, just release her. I gotta go punch this guy in the face. Like,
I like that.
There had to be a boss fight.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. But there were just some things where, like, I loved his, like, devotion to, like, protecting the innocent. Because the final scene, actually, for me, was actually, like, one of the coolest, where he's like, play this loudly. and he just
that
kills
was cool.
everybody.
Yeah.
Just like pops
I
off,
thought
and he's
that
like,
was cool.
"Hey, I'm here to save you."
Yeah.
So there's just like, there's for every moment where we're like, there's always like a and then
Yes,
and then,
you're exactly right.
Like
You're
so, I just felt
exactly
like there was enough like where I'm like, okay, I would watch a sequel to this movie.
Yes,
Sure.
there's enough intrigue there. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was just going down a checklist.
Yeah.
Really, like,
It's just too bad that it kind of came from a team that like definitely has the reputation to probably have a really solid thing built. This just kind of felt like
fine.
Yeah, it felt like we got the final draft done, and we're just gonna hope we can hide this thing by saying that Ryan Reynolds, Ana de Armas, and Chris Evans are in this, and they're like, okay, sounds good, and it was like all packaged too cleanly for like it didn't quite get all the.
But I enjoy this. I didn't even see the other, but Red Notice. I enjoy this, like attempt at something different than Red Notice, where it felt like it was just like The Rock's in it and Gal Gadot.
Yeah, that's
Ryan
true.
Reynolds.
Yeah, there's
like,
more to this than the Red Notice.
Yeah,
I agree.
And so like I applaud that.
Yes,
and
amen.
I'm like, good. Like I like this.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a bad movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a low score.
Yeah.
But low-ish.
Yeah, and you can love movies that you don't give a 10 out of 10 to,
Yeah.
too. I mean, like, there's still something about this that has heart. It honestly reminds me of, like, I don't have, like, an example, but, like, a B movie that just has a lot of, like
heart or something to it, or like
there's still some ingredient to this that the Russos figured out a way to still sell it to me where I'm like, okay, maybe it was the niece and him trying to protect her, where I'm just like, this dude's a good dude. And there's like some cool scenes where he's like getting his ass just kicked and like stabbed.
like
but
5 times.
But there's like a part of him that's just like, I'm like Michael Myers in this movie, and that like the mission will get done because I need it to be done. And there's just some like tenacity to him that I don't think was like fully developed perfectly. I think we could have used like a montage where he's just getting jacked or something, but like it's fine. Like I just something where like I don't know, like he gets like stabbed like 8 times and you're just like, this dude's just a monster. And it's fine and it works for me, but like man, he just
I think that's sheer willpower, because then in the end he's like, oh, so much blood.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah.
And
I get that.
He lands some of those lines pretty good. But so that's where I'm at. Like I think there is enough heart to this where I'm like, yeah, go check it out. I'd be curious. I think there's novels on this.
There are.
It's like a source material, so
it's like a Tom Clancy kind of whatever.
Maybe that's something to look into. I kind of want to also check out. I know Chris Pratt just came out with his like.
Oh yeah.
New kind of secret
agent war thing.
But it's Amazon, and
I've heard that's more psychological.
Yeah.
I've heard, I think that's
but there's
more
definitely
intense.
Something happening in Hollywood where they're like, hey, we're gonna sell us the agent guy doing the agent stuff.
Well, maybe like what's the John Krasinski one?
Oh, Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Reacher. That's
Jack
my
Reacher,
boy Tom Cruise.
Sorry.
God bless him.
Get your facts straight.
That's okay.
2 things that I thought were a little iffy for me.
Yeah.
When Ana de Armas, and this is the thing where like characters are like, where are they? She's like in the room with the evil CIA guy, and he's like, stay here, don't help out your boy Ryan Gosling, and she's like, okay, leaves and joins him and picks him up, and like in a different city. I didn't know where she was, and then she shows up. I'm like, that feels weird.
Yeah.
And then her decision to help him was like, this is my neck on the line. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then near the end when it's like, now she's on their side. Now she's on the CIA side, and she gave them the pendant. And with the date, I'm like, I didn't get those dots.
Yeah, because there was like the double cross, but everybody kind of got exonerated because of the way it all played out.
Yeah,
they kind of
like,
let it all fall on Chris Evans.
Yeah, but why?
And that was the other thing. Like, she shot him, and she didn't have to because he was going to kill him anyway. And then you could have just said that Ryan Gosling killed him.
Yeah.
But she's like, I had to shoot him. And then he's like, oh, well, did you shoot him? Because now there's evidence that maybe you shot him. She's like, nah. It's like, if you just wouldn't have done anything, There was just some weird stuff. Like, they had to set
Yeah.
up a sequel.
Yes.
And so they're just like, bleh.
Yeah, that's something where it's like, I don't think that was
Yeah.
super nicely tied. And then the other thing, I liked my boy Lone Wolf or whatever. He was cool. The guy that came into the hospital and fought him and stuff.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
and
then he's like,
ultimately
wait,
reaches and
these
it's like,
guys are heartless people.
but I'm like I kind of I want to get that where he's
Yeah.
like, anyways, wait, these people are gonna kill somebody. I'm out.
That was a little interesting. He's like, these people are like very not honorable people. And it's like, you were killing for money.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
I think you just killed like 3 cops outside of a hospital.
That was a little odd choice.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I
I don't know.
yeah. I have 2 gripes,
Okay.
and then I want to just gush over Chris Evans for a
sounds
moment,
good.
if we can. My only gripe that I want to mention is that both of the 2 good people that wanted to protect the gray man off themselves by blowing them up with grenades.
Yes, I agree.
It's kind of a weird repetition in a
Yes.
movie to be like, go, trust me. And then they like blow themselves up. And it's like,
boring or whatever.
but it's also like, I don't think they fully established that Billy Bob Thornton was that important to Ryan Gosling, except for that there was a time gap and that he protected his niece that one time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he definitely wants to protect the niece, but I just didn't really buy that it's like Billy Bob's like your boy, you know?
Yeah, because they jump for our time jump that from our perspective is, oh, Billy Bob
got
Thornton
released.
hired or
That's it.
got me released, and then 15 years later or whatever, I'm in trouble. Let's go to Billy Bob Thornton because you
Yeah.
saved my life.
It's
And
like Will
wait,
Smith going to, or it's like Deadshot going to Amanda Waller.
Mhm,
It's like,
'cause
you
I-
mean a lot to me. It's like,
Mhm.
she just was like using you. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole point was
Yeah.
like, hey, I can get your sentence down.
that was not
because-
connected.
Yeah. So I just think that could have been better. And maybe in the books it's explained, but
Yeah, actually, Nick, when you read the books, it's
if you just read between the lines, my guy. But let us get to Chris Evans, who's basically on like a streak of villainy right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's just going ham.
Yeah.
He killed it in Knives Out. And in this, I think the mustache helps me separate him from Captain America. He did it.
That's
He's
fair.
only either had a full beard or clean shaven. So I was like,
That's
you know
fair.
what? This trash stash, probably kind of a
Do you
douchebag.
think that's a Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible
That's a
kind of look?
move. That's a move. I think that was definitely, maybe that's Russo Brothers, like, that's the last laugh.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, haha, look at this mustache. It's not going to ruin our movie. That would be awesome if that was
would
their
be
play.
funny.
Maybe we're going to see, like, 10 years down the line, like, hey, we secretly did this just to...
But I think it's enough of, I don't know why, but this choice to do a mustache is an interesting choice because it is enough of a distinguishing thing to be like, I don't know what pops more.
Well, and it's very similar to, like, Miles Teller. Like, there's a thing,
Yeah.
there's a little mustache assance going on this summer.
Mustache assance.
Mustache assance, if you will. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but, like, I think most of this budget just went to Chris Evans' wardrobe. I mean, he was immaculate.
What was he wearing?
Just what scene are we talking about? Dude's wearing, like, chinos that are just, killing it. He's got the jogger fit, so it's a little bit higher up, and then
Okay.
he's got the loafer with, like, no socks showing.
Mm-hmm.
Guy knows class.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So I bought that he was definitely evil.
Because of the loafers?
Oh yeah, you never trust a guy that dapper. While I'm
I've
wearing shoes with no socks.
I'll say you're a dapper boy sometimes.
Yeah.
You literally have a cap on right now.
That's true. I don't know. They did a good job of
Oh,
some
he was
of
a great villain.
yeah, the
Incredible.
torture scenes and stuff like that, and just how, like, the one thing I will say about Chris Evans though is, like, God bless him. I think he's a great actor. I do think depth. Like, I don't think we're gonna get, like, I don't know if we'll ever get, like, a Heath Ledger's Joker out of
Sure.
a Chris Evans. Like, I just don't know if we'll ever. I just feel like he's like, oh, you want me to be just like a little bit crazier? Like, he has that cool scene where he gets pissed off at the guys who allowed Ryan Gosling to
who
break
they
in.
died and
So then
he,
he
like,
like
shoots-
double taps
Yeah.
them and then, like, kicks them. He's like,
Yeah.
you sons of, like,
That
he
was
can
good.
kind of get crazy,
Mhm.
but it's still like his
But that
voice
felt-
never changes,
Yes.
and, like, he still just sounds like Chris Evans forever. Like,
Mhm.
that Buzz Lightyear trailer came out. It's like, oh, it's Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. It's just it's always Chris Evans as Chris Evans. I don't
Mhm.
feel like he disappears into any of the roles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's true. It's like I feel he has two sides. It's either he's Captain America or he's the worst person.
Yeah. But I mean, but if that's his bread and butter, God bless him, he does great. There's nothing wrong with what he did. I just think, like, for me, eventually,
yeah, where do you go
too
with
much
this?
repetition of him, and I will just eventually be like, he's doing his classic thing that he's always done.
It's The Rock.
Yeah.
To me, like, The Rock is like, I love the guy.
Yeah. It's
But,
more
like,
about what The Rock gets to do, not who The Rock is going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's not different between any of his movies particularly. But
So maybe like a prequel where we get to develop the character longer and just give him a chance to do some more stuff. And honestly, I hope that like in-game and stuff like that, I'm sure he'll do more behind the camera now that he can do stuff. Because I know I watched Defending Jacob, his Apple TV series. And I know he was like, I think helping produce that and wanted to maybe start getting a little bit more behind the camera. So maybe that's where his whole plan is, to just rake in all the money so that he can start doing stuff like that. But would like to see him go just a little bit deeper.
I do think there was a rom-com that he was in, I don't know,
that
4
he
years
did
ago.
direct that one. Yeah.
Was he in that?
Where he was like the trumpet player, dude?
I don't know. I never saw it. But like, I mean, did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, well there's at least a role that's deeper. Did you
find even like rom-com Chris Evans is just like 2 degrees different than Johnny Storm.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not, he doesn't really go, like, he kind of has his Lloyd Hansen, Scott Pilgrim, crazy guy.
Yeah.
Then he has his Captain America, and then there's just some, like, vague, I think he does a good job, though, of, like, could he be good or could he be bad?
Sure.
He can definitely live in that. I mean, that was the whole thing with Knives Out, was, like, kind of seems cocky, but like, is he that evil? And you're like, apparently, spoilers for Knives Out, he is, you know, like, he is that bad. So I do think he can live in there, but would love to just see him, like, now that he has the reputation and like can get into like pretty much, I'm sure he could technically do any movie he wanted.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see him do like I would love to see Captain America win an Oscar, is basically what I'm saying. I just would love to see him do that one role
in a pure drama or whatever.
He did do
like, I don't think he's doing a Revenant, you know?
Yeah, the closest I saw him do just kind of like an indie project in the midst of like all the crazy stuff was, I think, another Netflix movie. He did the Red Sea diving in something where he like helps immigrants pretend to stay in a hotel as guests, and then he like gets them past the border and does like this cool like, but they like bring them in overseas and then like do all this like stuff, but then he's like policed a lot. So he does some cool drama in that, but it still feels like he's kind of Captain America, just saving people. He's just doing it without a shield. So it's just stuff like that. Anyway, that's just my little rant about. But in this movie,
you could say the same thing about Ryan Gosling in this movie, I think.
Sure. Yeah, I think both of these guys have their lanes.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I love Ryan Gosling. I think
Ryan Gosling has some depth, though, that he's done in other films.
Well, I think Drive.
Yeah.
I think even Blade Runner, I think, has a lot more depth than it kind of appears.
Well, but there's a movie I haven't seen, but I've heard really good things about him, is A Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah.
I've heard just like phenomenal things. So I kind of want to check that out, but I just know that he's capable of kind of going there if he needs to. So, but would love to. This is me just gushing over like, hey, Chris Evans, it would be a blast to see you like do that too.
Yeah,
but
cool.
I mean, hey, make your money. If you just do Gray Man for the rest of your life, God bless you.
Yeah,
it's more than what most of us are gonna be able to do. So God bless you.
I still think he was the best part of this movie, hands down.
Yeah, I thought. I thought his demeanor, just his very like. He gets to the point, like a lot of the torture scenes don't take very long because he's just like, hey, here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to rip all of your nails off and you're just going to tell me. And you're just like, damn, there's like no like, there's no like tease. He's just like, hey, I just got to do it. And then there's that iconic line where he keeps failing. And then Suzanne, I think is her name. She's like, what took you so long? He's like, I got shot in the ass, Suzanne. Just yells and walks out. It's like, my guy. Yeah. This guy's just... They're just like, hey, Chris, just have at it. And there's obviously some trust there, I think, with the Russo brothers. Like, go for it, my guy.
Yeah.
So, So you're saying you would see the sequel?
Oh, yes,
okay.
I definitely would.
Perfect.
And you would as well.
Yeah. I think I'm probably more interested in that 18 years of leading up to this movie, but I will definitely watch the sequel after the way they end it, you know? I'd like to see the becoming, or even just like more of the Sierra whatever organization.
Yeah.
I like the foundational
Well, you could
stuff.
probably do a prequel in that. I think in those 15 years is technically a prequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, it's basically the scene before was like, hey, you're out of
Agreed.
jail now. It's like, that's we don't need to know what happened before that.
No.
Necessarily.
No,
but
I don't need to see Ryan Gosling's like origin story. I just would like to see like how did Sierra come to be?
Sure.
How did Chris Evans not make it?
Sure.
That sort of thing. That sounds interesting to me. But the way they set this up is definitely like he's gonna probably have some more people on him now that he's, got the girl again and stuff like that. Yeah. So the one refreshing thing too is that there wasn't like a forced love interest. A lot of times it's like the guy saves the day so that the girl's like, oh my God, there's no one else I could be with besides you.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't do that. Like it's just straight business.
Yeah, and that is true with like Ana de Armas. It's like, it's not like, oh, she's a girl and you're a guy and you're both in this movie, so therefore you love each other.
Yep. Yeah. They just kind of ignored that. And as kind of awkward as that final scene was for me, where it's like, just shoot him. The final fight was pretty cool because, like, he did get some unnecessary wounds that he shouldn't have received if he just would have done the smart thing. Yeah. But he plays to all of the weaknesses. So, like, Chris Evans had already gotten, like, a burn on his back, and so he, like, splashed them in water, and he's just, like freaking out, and, like, his fingers got blown off, and so he just punches him in the hand. You're just like, oh, dude.
I do like that fight.
Cool
I do enjoy when Chris Evans like sits down, and like kicks the rocks out of it. I'm like I like that little breath of moment. I love when he pulls out the knife and Ryan Gosling has his hand like held, and so Chris Evans throws the knife up, catches it with his other hand, and stabs him in the back. I'm like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool.
That was like straight out of Winter Soldier. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like it was like all that stuff. It was pretty sick.
When this movie hits, I think it does it really well.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is the lows and the highs. I think, as much as we've talked about the negatives, there are lots of highs. I think when you've seen this many movies about kind of the same stuff, it's hard not to compare, but it's also easy to kind of see through a lot of stuff. And Netflix right now feels like it's in kind of a desperate state where it just kind of is like, and we're bringing you a movie that has Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling in it, and we're supposed to just be like, I will be watching.
Yes.
Like they're trying to go for the, don't worry about what it is going to be about. And I remember when I heard about this, they're like, Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling team up with the Russo brothers on a spy movie.
Period.
Like, watching it.
Yeah.
They got me.
Yeah.
But I just think, like, they have to be careful of, like, this is not a lasting practice. It will definitely get you the short-term gains, but I hope that they're willing to be like, hey, let's explore this. People seem to like this. Let's double down on it. Not, well, we got our cash, and let's get out of here, and let's start up something new.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it then. We gave you the effort of watching Gray Man. Give us the Purple Man next. Yeah. I'm ready.
Give us the Purple Man.
Yeah. With more
That's
smoke.
what we demand.
I think Ryan Gosling mostly wore gray.
Yeah.
He had a few things, but maybe there's a guy who just rocks a purple suit and kicks ass.
Let's go.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. The mode is to stay hidden. No. The mode is to wear purple.
Correct. That'd be sick.
And if you want to wear purple yourselves, you can get one of our shirts.
Yes. The Purple Men.
The Purple Men.
That's what we call ourselves, like, slang. Like,
yeah, that's our deal.
Not as United, officially,
AKA
the Purple Men. Perfect.
Yeah, the Purple Men group.
Do you have any closing remarks about this film that you feel like any stone that we left unturned?
No, I think it's good. Yeah. I liked it. I am genuinely, like, I want to see more.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think we want to dive into this. So this feels like one of those where it gave just enough effort and it delivered just enough for us to be like, okay, let's see this through. I just hope Netflix actually kind of, they seem like they want to follow through with it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, hopefully you saw
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man in theaters.
Yeah.
For the week that it was out.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just watched it at
At
home.
Michael. If someone thought that was wrong
I
and
love
thought
it.
that there would no theaters.
Perfect. All right, well, now you've officially heard from us. Not Us United.
Men Purple United.
Men Purple United. Have a good night, everybody.
Die.
You've just listened to Not Us United. You can find us under Not Us United on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Please leave us a review and consider subscribing to our podcast. You can reach out for future podcast topic suggestions at notusunitedpod@gmail.com.